Welcome. This channel is dedicated to your spiritual growth. Tune in each day to stay grounded amidst the ever-changing complexities of life. Let's embark on this journey together.
Ever get that feeling where your to-do list just keeps growing and growing, but you can't seem to find the energy to even start?
Oh, yeah, totally.
It's the worst. Well, today we are going to deep dive into a video essay that tackles this whole laziness thing and kind of slips the script on what might really be going on.
Yeah, it's based on this book
Oh, cool.
called Out on Two,
Whoa.
which translates to you're not lazy, you're just low on energy.
Okay, I like that already.
And it starts with this really interesting premise. What if, instead of blaming our attitude, we looked at our energy levels?
That already has my attention. I feel like most of us have always thought that laziness is just a character flaw.
Right, yeah, it's seen as like this lack of willpower or motivation.
Totally.
But this source challenges that and says sometimes it's not that we don't want to do something, but more that we just don't have the energy to actually do it.
I see. So how do we even understand or manage our energy? Is there some kind of magic formula?
Well, not really a magic formula, but they do have a really cool framework.
Okay, love a good framework.
They call it the energy pyramid. And basically they break down energy into 4 different levels.
4. Okay, I'm definitely intrigued. I love visuals. So let's break this pyramid down. What's the first level?
So at the very bottom, we have level 1, and that's physical energy.
Okay, physical energy makes sense.
This is the most basic level, kind of like the foundation of a house, It's just about how much energy we have available.
So things like sleep, food, exercise.
Exactly. It's like, think of your car's gas tank. If you don't fill it up,
You're not going anywhere.
you're not going anywhere.
I love that analogy. So we got to make sure our tanks are full to even start thinking about that to-do list.
Yeah.
But there's got to be more to it than just filling up the tank, right?
Right. It's not just the quantity of energy,
Mm-hmm.
but the quality too. That brings us to level 2, which is emotional energy.
Yeah. This is interesting because I know when I'm stressed or anxious, it's even the simplest things feel overwhelming. But then when I'm happy and motivated, I can just power through anything.
Exactly. The source really talks about emotional intelligence a lot. Being aware of your emotions and how they impact your energy and developing strategies to manage them well.
So if you're constantly seeing all this negative stuff online or surrounded by people who are just energy vampires,
Right.
it's going to impact our work even if we really want to do it.
Exactly. Yeah. This level is all about creating an emotional environment that supports our energy, not depletes it.
Wow, this is making me rethink my whole approach to productivity. Okay, so we've got quantity and quality of energy. What's next?
Level 3 is all about efficiency,
Okay.
mental energy.
Okay, mental energy.
It's about how we use the energy we have.
So that's got to be all about focus and concentration and avoiding those distractions. Right?
Exactly. Think of it like a well-maintained engine
Okay.
that gets the most out of the fuel it has. It's not just a full tank, it's about making sure the engine is running smoothly.
So that's where time management, mindfulness, a dedicated workspace, all that comes in. But I think the source also mentions something else that's really key for mental energy.
Yeah, they talk about downtime.
Wait, downtime, taking breaks, relaxing, that can actually boost mental energy.
Yeah, I know it sounds counterintuitive, but the source says that letting our minds rest and recharge is super important for keeping us focused and preventing burnout.
Okay, I guess it makes sense. Would you expect your car to run nonstop with no maintenance?
Right, exactly.
Okay, I'm officially reframing how I think about downtime. It's not laziness, it's an investment.
Right.
Okay, so we've got physical, emotional, mental. There's still one more level on this energy pyramid, right? What's at the top?
Level 4, spiritual energy.
Whoa, spiritual energy. Okay, this seems kind of deep.
Yeah, this level is all about finding meaning in what we do. It's that driving force behind why we do what we do.
Yeah. So even if we've got tons of energy, we're focused, and our engines are running smoothly, if we don't have direction or purpose, our efforts just won't feel fulfilling or give us that energy.
Exactly. It's about connecting with our values and what we're passionate about, aligning our actions with our deeper motivations.
This is starting to feel kind of philosophical,
Yeah.
but I like it. So how do we tap into this spiritual energy thing?
Well, the source actually shares a cool story about their own experience.
Okay.
The person who made this video, they were talking about how they felt super drained and unmotivated in their old job.
Huh?
But then when they started their own business, something shifted.
Oh, wow.
They were suddenly full of energy, working longer hours than ever, but feeling totally energized and fulfilled.
So it was like finding meaning in their work that just unlocked this whole new level of energy.
Yeah,
I can totally relate to that. When I'm working on something I'm passionate about, I can just like lose myself in it for hours and not even feel tired.
that's exactly it. When you find that purpose in what you do, your energy levels naturally rise to meet the challenge.
That's incredible.
It goes beyond just physical or mental energy.
Okay, this whole energy pyramid is seriously blowing my mind. I love how all these levels connect,
Right.
but I feel like we're just scratching the surface here.
Yeah.
So let's take a closer look at each level and talk about some specific strategies we can all use to boost our energy on all these different fronts.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so we've got this whole energy pyramid laid out in front of us. It's like a totally new way to think about what we call laziness.
Yeah, it's super cool.
But how do we actually use it? How do we boost our energy on each of these levels and get unstuck?
Well, that's the best part. It's not just theory. It's got all these practical strategies, too.
Okay.
Let's go back to that foundation level one, that physical energy.
Okay, back to basics. And you know what? I'll admit it, sometimes I try to skimp on sleep thinking I can just power through, but I always end up feeling worse.
Yeah, I think we've all been there.
So what's the real deal with sleep and energy?
The source is really clear on this one, Antoine. Quality sleep is non-negotiable. And it's not just about how many hours you get, but making sure your sleep environment is good and having a consistent sleep schedule.
So no more late night scrolling for me.
Maybe just a little.
Okay, what about exercise? I'll be honest, when I'm already feeling drained, working out is the last thing I want to do.
I hear you. And the source isn't saying you have to do these crazy workouts when you're already exhausted.
Okay, good.
Even just a little bit of movement can make a difference, like a walk or some stretching,
I can do that.
or even putting on some music and just dancing around. Anything to get your blood flowing a bit.
Yeah, moving our bodies in ways that feel good. I can get behind that.
Yeah.
What about food? We all know what we should be eating, but sometimes those sugary snacks are just calling my name.
I feel you. But seriously, the source really emphasizes eating whole, unprocessed foods.
Okay.
Fruits, veggies, lean proteins. It's like giving your body the best kind of fuel.
And I guess the processed stuff and sugar is like putting in the cheap gas.
Totally. And then you get those energy crashes.
Makes sense. So, nourishing our bodies is key. Okay, I'm really starting to see how these level 1 habits all fit together.
Yeah, it's all connected.
What about level 2, the emotional energy? My emotions can be all over the place sometimes. How do I keep them from totally draining me?
Well, that's where that emotional intelligence comes in. You got to start paying attention to how different emotions make you feel.
Okay.
Like, do certain people or activities make you feel anxious or drained? Once you know what those triggers are, you can start to do something about it.
So if I know that scrolling through social media makes me anxious, I need to put my phone away or something.
Yeah. Or if there are certain friendships that always leave you feeling exhausted, maybe it's time to rethink those relationships.
Interesting. Okay, so instead of letting my emotions control me, I can learn to understand them and use that knowledge to help me, not hurt me.
Exactly. The source also talks about things like mindfulness or journaling.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of those.
Just taking a few minutes to be present with your emotions can make a big difference.
So it's like processing them instead of just letting them build up.
Yeah.
This is brilliant. Okay, let's move on to level 3, mental energy. I'm all about staying focused, but with all the distractions these days, it feels impossible sometimes. How do I win that battle?
Attention management is huge. I mean, there are notifications and emails and social media updates coming at us from every direction.
It's true. Should I just throw my phone in the ocean?
Haha. Maybe not that extreme.
Okay.
But the source suggests things like setting boundaries with technology, having a dedicated workspace, and trying techniques like the Pomodoro technique.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that one. You work in focused bursts, right?
Yeah, exactly. With short breaks in between.
And speaking of breaks, let's not forget about downtime. I used to think that being busy all the time meant I was successful, but I'm realizing that taking breaks is crucial.
So important. It's like we were saying earlier, you can't expect a car to run nonstop without any maintenance.
True. Okay, I'm totally on board with the downtime thing. It's not laziness, it's essential. So we've done physical, emotional, mental. Now it's time for that top level, level 4, spiritual energy.
This one is a bit more abstract, I know.
Yeah, it definitely feels a bit more philosophical.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, how do we actually apply this idea of finding meaning in our work? How does that boost energy.
It's about figuring out how to align your actions with your values and passions. Maybe it means exploring a new career path, or starting a side project, or
Okay.
even just finding ways to bring more purpose to what you're already doing.
Hmm. So if I'm feeling super drained at work, it might not be because I'm lazy, but because I'm just not feeling connected to what I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly. Remember that story we talked about earlier?
Yeah.
The person who felt their energy go through the roof when they started their own business?
Mhm.
It was about finding work that matched their passion.
That makes sense. I've definitely noticed that when I'm working on something I really care about, it doesn't feel like work at all.
Exactly. And that's the power of spiritual energy. But figuring out what your purpose is can be tough.
Yeah, for
The
sure.
source talks about taking some time to really think about your values, your strengths, the things you enjoy.
Okay.
What comes naturally to you? What kind of impact do you want to have on the world?
Deep questions.
Yeah, they are, but they're worth asking.
This is starting to feel less like a productivity hack and more like a whole journey.
I love that. Okay, so we've got all these levels of energy, all super important, but how do they all work together? Can one level, like, mess with the others?
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's why this whole framework is so cool. The levels are totally connected.
Oh, wow.
So, like, if you're not sleeping enough, level 1, it can make your emotions more intense, level 2, and then it's harder to concentrate and manage your mental energy, level 3.
That makes a lot of sense. And I bet if you're feeling, like, lost and don't know what your purpose is, that's level 4, then you're probably not going to be very motivated to do much of anything on the other levels either.
You got it. It's like dominoes.
Oh,
One level falls and they all start to... This is totally changing how I think about energy and productivity. I'm already seeing things I need to change in my own life. Is there anything else that the source talked about that we haven't covered yet?
actually, yeah. They talked a lot about being kind to yourself and understanding that our energy levels are going to go up and down.
That's true.
Some days you'll feel like you can take on the world, and others you'll barely want to get out of bed.
Yeah, some days the snooze button wins.
It happens to the best of us. We're not robots, we're human. We have to listen to our bodies and give ourselves permission to rest when we need to.
Totally. It's about finding a good balance, not burning ourselves out, trying to be productive all the time.
Exactly. It's about living a life that feels good and gives you energy, not drains it. This has been such an interesting hop dive.
It really has. I feel like we barely scratched the surface of this whole energy thing. Okay, so we spent this whole deep dive talking about how laziness might not be what we think it is.
Yeah, it's more like an energy issue.
Right, and that whole energy pyramid is like a game changer.
It really is a cool way to look at things.
Instead of just beating ourselves up for not having enough willpower, we can actually figure out what kind of energy we're missing and then fix it.
Exactly. It's like a roadmap for boosting our energy.
I love that. So let's do like a quick recap for our listeners. We started with level 1, physical energy.
The foundation.
Yeah. Making sure we're getting enough sleep, eating good food, and moving our bodies.
It's like taking care of your car. You got to keep it running smoothly.
Totally. Then we moved on to level 2, emotional energy. All about paying attention to our emotions and creating a positive environment that supports us, not drains us.
Yeah, our emotions can be such an energy suck if we don't manage them.
So true. Then level 3 was mental energy, focusing our attention, using those time management techniques, and giving our minds a break with some downtime.
It's about working smarter, not harder.
Love that. And finally, we made it to the top level 4, spiritual energy, connecting with our purpose, figuring out what we're passionate about, and aligning our actions with our values.
It's that deeper level that really fuels our motivation.
I'm telling you, this whole concept is seriously mind-blowing. And what's really cool is how all these levels are connected, right?
Oh, yeah, totally.
It's not just about focusing on one level in isolation.
Right, it's all connected.
They all impact each other. So as we wrap up this deep dive, here's a little something to think about. Think back to a time when you felt stuck or just completely unmotivated.
Or, yeah, even lazy.
Right. Using this energy pyramid idea, can you figure out which level was probably depleted? Was it physical, like you weren't getting enough sleep or something?
Or maybe it was emotional, too much stress or negativity.
Could be mental too, right? Like maybe you were trying to focus, but there were just too many distractions.
Or maybe you were just feeling lost and didn't really know what you were working towards. That's that level 4, the spiritual energy.
Once you figure out which level is the culprit, you can start using those strategies we talked about to boost your energy.
Exactly. And remember, it's not about being perfect.
No way.
Nobody's energy is at 100% all the time.
Yeah. We're not robots.
We got to listen to our bodies and let ourselves rest.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's about finding that balance that works for you, not burning yourself out trying to do it all.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
about living a life that feels good and gives you energy, not drains it.
I love that. Well, this has been an awesome deep dive.
It really has.
I feel like I've learned so much about energy and motivation and how to actually live a life that feels fulfilling and energized.
I too.
Thanks for joining us on this journey. And remember, you've got the power to change how you feel. It all starts with paying attention to where your energy is going.
You got this.
And that's a
Thank
wrap.
you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you can stay updated with our latest content. May they bring you mindfulness and warmth. Feel free to share the channel with friends. You never know how much it could uplift their life. Until next time.